On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to my comrades in the state and to dismantle law, to elevate people of color at all times, to keep myself physically body positive, mentally woke, and immorally bent. What's up, Piper friends? Welcome to Tim's School of Pipes, and classes in session. Another nail has been nailed in the coffin of the United States. The Boy Scouts is dead. So, of course, that's not how the Scout oath actually goes. The way that it's written, it says, "On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, and to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight." But it is going to change soon because they cannot have God. God will be the next thing to be removed. Country will be removed. The whole thing is a shit show, and it used to be an American institution, but it is dead now. It is completely dead. Over the last decade, the Boy Scouts of America have been getting more and more woke. So I just want to give you a little bit of history about how the Boy Scouts has become more and more woke. It used to be an organization for boys to teach boys the skills and the values and the character traits that were required to be a man. Of course, there is an all-out war on masculinity and gender, and that's because all institutions have to be destroyed in order to usher in this new world order so that they can rebuild this fantastical utopia that will not work. It has never worked, and don't tell me,
oh, it's just never been done right.
Let's talk about what's happening with the Boy Scouts of America. So, they have recently announced that they are changing their name to Scouting America. They are removing boy from Boy Scouts. This has been a long time coming. The Boy Scouts has been getting more and more woke and more left, just like all institutions in America and Western Europe. This has been happening for a decade, so I just want to go over a few dates with you regarding the Boy Scouts. May of 2013, they end the ban on gay boys, on gay membership. Now, you have to understand that while the Boy Scouts is not a Christian organization per se, it's an organization based on Christian principles. And when I was a kid in the Boy Scouts, we met at a church, always, right? It's based on Christian values. Homosexuals were not allowed, right? At least openly homosexuals. That took effect in January of 2014. Gay boys were officially allowed in the Boy Scouts. However, the Boy Scouts maintained their ban on gay adults. Okay, they couldn't hire gay adults. They couldn't volunteer. In April 2015, the New York Council of Boy Scouts of America hires a gay adult in defiance of the ban on gay adults. 2 months later, in July of 2015, the Boy Scouts of America ends its ban on gay adults. That's brilliant. The Boy Scouts of America has 82,000 lawsuits for sexual abuse, which is a whole different topic. Anytime you have children, the perverts are going to show up, right? So, look, abuse has been happening, sexual abuse. Of course, it's horrible. Nobody condones it. But certainly letting openly homosexual adults be around kids is perfectly normal.
No. Just because they're homosexual doesn't mean they want to have sex with kids.
Bullshit. Bullshit. It is sexual deviancy. One form of sexual deviancy devolves into another. Don't give me that bullshit. Homosexuality is a gateway drug to all kinds of sexual immorality, so just stop with that nonsense. January 2017, the Boy Scouts of America officially allows trannies and any gender, whatever you want to call yourself, you're allowed. In July of 2017, the Scouts for Equality Leadership attended the National Jamboree, which is a 10-day camp out. It's the national camp out for Boy Scouts. So, Scouts for Equality Leadership attends the National Jamboree as guests of the United Church of Christ, and they teach LGBTQ topics to Boy Scouts over the 10-day campout, right? So, July of 2017, the Boy Scouts of America starts teaching LGBTQ stuff at the National Jamboree. January 2018, girls are admitted to Cub Scouts. July of 2018, the National Order of the Arrow Conference includes a rainbow cafe to promote LGBTQ+. Now, the National Order of the Arrow is kind of like a scouting honor society for those scouts that best exemplify the scout oath and the scout law and the scout motto. In February of 2019, girls are officially allowed into the Boy Scouts. In May of 2024, just a few days ago, the Boy Scouts of America announced that it is changing its name. It is dropping boy from the name, and it's changing its name to Scouting America, which will take effect in 2025. So for the last decade, the Boy Scouts has been getting more and more woke. Before you freaking Canadian lunatics and you people in Western Europe and the UK
say, well, we've had trannies and girls in Scouts forever and it hasn't caused a problem. You're just overreacting as usual, typical conservative. Oh, the world is ending, blah, 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 blah.
Are you freaking serious? Nothing has happened? Canada, you are a shit show. United Kingdom, you are a shit show. Don't tell me we've had that forever. You're so far behind, you bigots. Look at us. Everything's fine. Everything is not fine. You guys are an absolute, complete shit show. And I have said it in video after video. The United States is not far behind you freaking lunatics. I'm not even going to go into the gay stuff because, look, that's just freaking wrong. I don't care. If it offends you, good. It offends you because I'm right and you're wrong. So I hope you're offended. Homosexuality is wrong. All this transgender and transsexual whatever bullshit is wrong. It is from the pit of hell. It is immoral and it is wrong. And if you are offended by that, it's because I'm right and you're wrong. Here's the problem with having boys and girls mixed together at that age. It has been known for a long, long time by developmental psychologists and researchers have shown that during those formative years, when you have boys and girls together, boys act differently and girls act differently, right? They're not free to be boys and they're not free to be girls, and we know this. Even grown folks, if you're single and unmarried, you get around a woman, you act different. Women, you get around men, you act different. It's no different with kids, right? So these boys are not allowed to develop. These girls are not allowed to develop properly. Look, Boy Scouts of America, your numbers have been in rapid decline over the last decade because of all the sexual lawsuits against the leadership and teaching all this homosexual crap. People don't want their kids in the Boy Scouts because the Boy Scouts is not what it was. So changing your name is not going to save you. Allowing homosexuals and trannies and girls into the Boy Scouts is not going to save you. Here's my advice to the Boy Scouts of America. Cut your freaking losses and close the doors and walk away. As an institution, you're done. You're dead. It's just a joke. It'll never work, but I promise you that the reason all this woke shit is going on is because they must dismantle everything that is American, and they must dismantle the family as part of that. All institutions must be destroyed so that then they can rise from the ashes and create their new bullshit utopia. This goes all the way back to Marx, Herbert Marcuse, Angela Davis, Paulo Freire, Derek Bell, all of them. This is not conspiracy theory. It is written. It is out there. It has been being taught to our youth and our university students for 30 years now. We have a whole generation of people that have been being taught this crap from the time they were in grade school. And so they are brainwashed. They are completely 100% indoctrinated. And so men have to be destroyed. Masculinity has to be destroyed. There can be no gender. Everyone must be equal. What I find ironic is that they talk about celebrating diversity, which is differences among people, and yet they want everyone and everything to be exactly the same. Everything they do is antithetical to everything else they do. And in the end, they are going to destroy each other. The woke, progressive, postmodern left is going to cannibalize itself. They are going to destroy each other because they are at odds with each other. Their ideologies don't match up. It's a bunch of people living a fantasy. And the problem is, we have an entire generation of people, millennials and Gen Z. They have been being bombarded with this stuff from the time they were born. Gen X is the last generation to have been alive before cable TV. The last generation to have been alive before computers, before social media. Everybody else that was born in the 90s and until now, they've had computers and the internet and social media and smartphones all their lives, right? So they've been bombarded with this shit constantly. Whereas us Gen Xers, this stuff was going on in the 60s, but we didn't have as much access to it. We had isolated pockets of people that still had some sense about them, but people that are 40 and younger that have grown up with a cell phone or a computer in their face, they've had this stuff constantly, so it's second nature to them. So us Gen Xers, we know a time before all this shit. They don't. They have no idea. They have been living this fantasy life from the time they were born and in school, and then when they become adults, they don't know how to lead. And it all falls apart, right? Because once you get in the real world, the fantasy rules that you've been living by don't apply. Masculinity has to be destroyed. Boys have to be destroyed. It's all part of the plan. It's not conspiracy theory. I urge you to read Marcuse, Angela Davis, the Weather Underground stuff, the Black Panther stuff, the Black Liberation Movement, the BLM documents, Derek Bell, Paulo Freire. This shit is in black and white. They tell you exactly what they're doing. They must dismantle all of it, and they tell you the family's got to go, masculinity's got to go. It's right there in black and white, people. I mean, if you're still talking about it being a conspiracy theory, you just suffer from ostrich syndrome, because it's all written. All of it is written. And the funny thing is, they're just a bunch of puppets for the World Economic Forum. They're the useful idiots that's doing the dirty work, being the foot soldiers on the ground for the billionaires in the World Economic Forum that are just going to frickin', dispose of them when they're done with them. Boy Scouts is dead. Another nail in the coffin of the United States and all that is good and all that is moral in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. The new Brownshirts. As always, guys, I appreciate you for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know if you were in Boy Scouts. Let me know what you think about all this nonsense. If you're a woke freaking libtard, don't even bother, because I don't want to hear your bullshit, and I'm just going to block you immediately. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Click my logo right over there. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Pipes, boys and girls. Class dismissed.